Hello guys, today I'm walking in Thundersley Glen in Benfleet in Essex. It's a nice little area of woodland and I'm going to be seeing what food we can forage from the woods. I'm no expert in foraging, but it's something I've always been interested in. Obviously I like the outdoors, I like walking, so it's good to know what you can actually eat on the trail if you have to, or even just out of interest. Now there's plenty of guides to identifying plants. You need to be careful because some plants and mushrooms, single bite of them can kill you, so please don't use this as a guide. If we all drop down dead tonight, that's our loss. We don't want to be responsible for you guys. Be sure to check it out for yourself, but we're just going to show you what we come across ourselves on this little walk. I've got my granddad and my cousin behind. Cousin Merline's up for trying some of the woodland edibles. My granddad, he used to eat the field mushrooms a lot when he was younger in the fields, but he's a bit more wary of the woodland plants. So we think we found a field mushroom here, and see my granddad's saying here that if you can peel them, it suggests they're edible, and the fact they've got brown gills as well. There's no yellow staining either, so they're probably good to eat. Just show the underside of it quickly. Yes, it's got the brown pinkish gills.
This is where the maggots would be, and that's where you've got to break them and check for maggots in there. Look good, but once you break them, if there's holes in there, then they're no good. Maggots have got
so that's it. There's this one here, they look a bit like they haven't opened up yet, but I think they're all still fine, you know. So we found these mushrooms down here. They look a bit like field mushrooms because they've got the brown gills underneath them, and they're white, or horse mushrooms. But the way to tell if it's safe to eat, you scratch the surface. If it goes yellow, bright yellow, you know it's bad. So this is yellow stainer, I believe, because look, it's gone a bright yellow, and if you smell it, it didn't have much of a smell, but apparently they don't smell like fresh mushroom, so we're not going to take these today. We've just found this little one down here. It's bright yellow, and I think it's called the sulphur cap or something like that, and it's not good to eat. It will give you a bad upset, and literally the smell of it is absolutely disgusting. It smells, honestly, it smells like chemicals or something. If you pass that here, I'll show you up close, but it's absolutely horrible. You don't want to be eating that. So we found a lot of mushrooms in the woods. I think it's because it's a damp day. It's been raining over the past few days, and it's sort of autumn time. There's a lot of mushrooms in the woods here. Problem is, I don't think many of them are actually edible, and we can't identify that many of them. So all the ones you've seen in the video here, in just some of the cinematic shots, I'm not including them because they're edible, alright? I'm just putting them in there because they look nice, but you probably can't eat them. The field mushrooms we found, they look quite nice, they smell nice. Problem is they were staining yellow when we cut them, which is a telltale sign there might be the yellow stainer, which can give you an upset stomach and stuff. And it does look like the field mushrooms, so we might not want to eat that one. We've picked quite a lot of them. We're going to take them home and try and identify them more thoroughly. I think the smell is another indicator. If they smell like fresh mushroom, they're probably fine to eat. So we're going to go home and have a little bit of a closer investigation. But until then, we're going to go out and see what else we can find. We might even go and pick some chestnuts, because they've all fallen down this time of year. So we've found loads of chestnuts, but unfortunately, all the actual seeds, or whatever you call them, all the nuts themselves have gone. It's just the husks that are left. So it could be a no-show for the old chestnuts, which is a shame because they're quite nice to eat. If you look here, we've found the husk of a nut, but there's no actual nut inside there. It's all empty, so I think this is evidence that squirrels have been eating them. We finally managed to find a few chestnuts that are actually good to eat. They're nice and dark all over mostly, so they are nice and ripe. Unfortunately, they're a little bit small, and it's taken us quite a lot of effort just to find this small bunch. This mushroom here is all white all over, even underneath. Even the gills are pure white, and look, it comes from like a big round bulbous base. Now anything that's pure white all over, I wouldn't eat it. It could be a destroying angel, and this actually looks really similar to it. One of these mushrooms, it might look white and innocent, but truth be told, even a small sliver of that could kill, you know, up to probably like 10 people or so if you put that in a recipe. So you don't want to touch that at all. We found this puffball looking fungus down here. Could be an earth ball, I'm not really sure technically, but either way it's not white, so it's not good to eat it. Sometimes they dust out and they literally look like a smoke grenade when you pierce them. Perhaps this is an earth ball, because look at that, it does look like mud inside, but it's actually all the spores. What we found here, I believe, are common puffballs, and look, they've got like this kind of stipple texture on the outside, but they're not the giant puffballs, which are huge and they're really pure and easy to identify. These have got like a texture to them and a little sort of bit on the top, so I'm not sure if they're good to eat, but I'm going to take them anyway. So another thing you can forage is acorns. Now, they don't look very nice to eat. Obviously, they're very hard and they're not nice to eat. But if you prepare them properly, they actually can become quite a good edible. What I did, I picked them, I peeled them, did this last week. You have to boil them through several times and replace the water to remove the tannic acid, which makes them bitter and can give you a bit of an upset. And then I ground them down, which took absolutely ages, and roasted them on a tray in the oven, and now it looks exactly like coffee. You could buy this in World War II Germany, because Germany, obviously being inland, it struggled to import a lot of its produce, and they used acorn coffee instead, called ersatz coffee. Right, so we've got here the common puffball, which is actually one of the few mushrooms that I found today in the woods that I can positively identify. So you've got like these little rough dots all over the surface, and they're a good sign, a good giveaway that it is the common puffball. They're basically the same as giant puffball, except they're smaller. And inside, to cut them in half to check they're good to eat, you want to make sure, we've poked this one around a bit, you want to make sure it's all just pure white flesh inside, and that there's no mushroom hidden away in there, because if it is, if there's a little mushroom undeveloped, it's probably something like a toadstool. So we're going to cut these up, going to peel them. It recommends not wetting them to wash them, then we're going to fry them, and hopefully they should be nice. Just cut in half this big one here. I think it's a little bit mature, it starts to go a bit squashy and squidgy. Cut it in half, there's a little bit yellowing on the base. It's gone kind of squashing, it's got this sort of shape that's started to develop. Personally, I don't think that is good to eat. Look, it's sort of juicy. I think it's just spoiled a bit, basically. It's just not so nice to eat. However, these ones, we've peeled them and they're just pure white mushroom meat. So we're going to fry them up in a pan with some butter. They should be a nice little snack. The common puffballs are nice and done now. They're looking very golden. If you just want to come have a little look at them quickly. There we go. So they're looking nice and golden. Try a little one here first. Tiny little one like that. So we go. Very nice. Small. You know, they're quite soft and squidgy inside. They sort of reduce down to kind of nothing really. It's almost like eating a toasted marshmallow. But they've got quite a nice flavour. Generally very inoffensive. Would definitely recommend giving it a go. They were really nice actually. Got my dad to try a few, he was a big fan too. They tasted more of the salt and butter that we put in the pan with them than they did the mushroom themselves. But they've got a very delicate, gentle flavour and texture. They're quite soft. We sort of agreed they were a bit like egg, like a sort of mini little omelette or something with a nice golden crisp outside to them. I think next we're going to try some chestnuts because got them left over and there's not many, but they need to go somewhere, so I might as well eat them. Now, most people like to roast them, but I ended up boiling them whilst walking once, and actually they came out rather nice. This is all we've ended up with. Just about 3 whole ones and one that's sort of broken up. Some of them have gone a bit bad. They're all very small anyway. Gonna give this one a try. And they're very nice. Nice flavour. Very sweet. Good energy, probably very healthy. It's been good trying the food. But in all fairness, I think it's time to get the microwave going. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed this little video where we've gone out foraging for whatever food is available in the wild in autumn time. You know, sorry there's not been too much to actually eat that looks particularly appetising. We've had the chestnuts and mushrooms, both very nice, but there wasn't anything in great quantity. It's obviously getting a bit colder weather, and the only thing that's really in abundance this time of year, primarily it's the mushrooms, which I'm not that experienced on, so obviously haven't been able to eat too many of those. But I hope you've enjoyed it. You know, it's just nice having a walk in the woods, see the wildlife and see what was growing, and it's been quite good fun trying a few of these bits out. Hopefully in future we'll be able to do some more sort of foraging relating stuff. I might even do a bit of hunting, see what we end up getting around to. But thanks for watching guys, and cheers. Gonna tuck into my lovely pasta.